Hello Team FD and welcome back to the 12th Man where you take us on at Sky Sports Fantasy Football in a bid to win glorious prizes. Joining me today, we've upgraded from Joe, we've upgraded from Pato. It's Team Curls. It is Craig Mitch and DJ Elab, fresh back from Turkey. Love it. Glorious bars. How was your bank holiday weekend? Craig first.
Great.
Stop being so self-centered.
Fine.
No, it was incredible. I had a good time. You know, I went to Notting Hill Carnival. Ate some jerk chicken, even though I can't handle spicy food. Saw some spicy women, they look good, you know, in their outfits.
Dance with them in a respectable manner.
Yep, you know, very respectful, had a good time.
All very PG.
Got a whistle. A whistle as well. I was blowing my whistle.
You love a whistle in the club, don't you?
Oh, take me down to Brighton Beach any day of the week and I'm there. Honestly, love it a bit. However, I wasn't in Brighton. I was in Turkey, going golden.
Golden brown, texture like sun.
The true Algerian in me is out today. Love it. How's yours?
I was in Leeds, not so exotic, on a stag do. Anyway, this is getting quite laddie, isn't it? So let's just segue back into fantasy football. If you haven't joined our league, the pin is on screen now. Do so to win shirts, to win the season-long prizes. Like I said, they are in the description below. For more details, go and check that out. We're starting with some quick-fire questions for the face of the Premier League. It's Craig Mitch. Okay, so the big news this week was Spurs ending their torrid run at Old Trafford, routing Jose Mourinho's new-look Manchester United side 3-0. Give us your thoughts first and foremost on the match, and then I want to know where you want to see Spurs strengthen in January.
Starting with me.
You big man.
Yes.
The match in itself was, for being a Spurs fan, it was incredible. Let's be honest. I mean, Spurs haven't won there since 2012, I think it was. Jose Mourinho suffering his biggest home defeat ever in his career across all competitions, all leagues. Yeah, it was sweet. And it breaks my heart a bit because I'm one of the few people that still like Jose Mourinho. Even after everything he does, I just have to respect a man that always says what he feels. Doesn't bite his lip, whether it gets him in trouble or not. He always I think he wears his heart on his sleeve.
I agree on that. I want to see him come out at the other end. For sure.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I want him to kind of ride this wave. I don't want him to quit. I don't want them to sack him. I want to see how he responds to, you know, all of this criticism. This kind of, the tide's quite bad right now. Can he steer the Manchester United ship to safety? That's what I want to see. But going by yesterday's game, I mean, Spurs just looked, it was a weird one because the first half they got battered.
First 30 minutes, yeah.
They got battered. They were under it. You could
Frenetic,
see that, you know, Man United were trying to put some of that bounce back ability, the famous bounce back ability, into the game from the Brighton game. But they didn't take their chances. They had good chances they could have taken. I remember Lukaku got gifted something by Danny Rose, which was weird why Danny Rose was even playing. And I like Danny, but I thought he was leaving, and then all of a sudden he's in the starting lineup.
PSG, Schalke.
Looking short of match fitness or any type of, you know, match coherency, but judging by what he did, just giving Lukaku that opportunity. But I just think Spurs were just clinical in the second half.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Clinical.
100%. I think the thing that annoys me about Jose now is like, when he was at Chelsea, he kind of defended his players. Like when he went to the press conferences, he went there with passion. Whereas now I just feel like it's a bit more of a desperation. He's going about, we got three wins or three, like, it's a bit pathetic, to be honest, in my eyes.
I love it for entertainment purposes, though.
Yeah,
it's like that soundbite you can take and go, yeah, that's Jose.
I just like an old
do not
man
want
now
to
moaning.
see him leave. He's the pantomime villain, and I'm enjoying it a lot this season.
We need it.
We do need
We
it.
do,
It's a great
we
narrative
do,
entertainment
yes.
value.
It's a great narrative, because then who are we going to get onto next? Mark Hughes? That's not as fun. And we know he's going to get sacked at some point. That's just not as fun.
Oh, God. If he's not gone by October, I'll be surprised.
Mark
Seriously.
Hughes does have that same complex where he thinks the whole world's against him, but I refuse to let us talk about Mark Hughes on this show
enough.
any longer than is necessary. What I thought was interesting after Manchester United Spurs game was that the Spurs players, for the first time in a long time, were quite bullish in their chances. Now, Lucas Moura maybe more of a language issue than anything else, because he just came out right and said, yeah, we're here to win the Premier League. But Harry Kane was quite defiant as well, and I think that continuity has just bred a lot of confidence. People are not really talking about Tottenham in the same way that they're talking about Liverpool. Do you think this team is now ready to take it to the next level? How do you feel as a fan?
Well, this is the thing, like for me, I come across biased because I'm a Spurs fan when I turn around to other fans that are like you said, they're applauding Liverpool, and I go, but hold on, Spurs finished third last season, Liverpool finished fourth. So then, you know, they would naturally turn around to me and say, yeah, but they dropped off because they focused on the Champions League, they got to the semi, and that's the only reason they finished behind Spurs. But for me, Spurs had a very average season last season and still secured third. So I feel like if they were to hit their heights, really, and hit the kind of that part of their game we know they're capable of, Spurs could be up there.
You're doing it now.
I think, well, this is the thing.
Because historically you start bad, right?
It's early days. Yeah, we do historically start bad. It is early days. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I think Poch is calling for everyone to just keep their feet on the ground. Because at the end of the day, this same set of players, although they're getting older and they probably are improving, one, about 9 of them didn't have a proper pre-season. 2, this team haven't been able to get over the line in the past. So I don't want Spurs fans to now all of a sudden get carried away and think, all right, now, just because they're a year older, they're now going to take us over the line. Me personally, I think they need 1 or 2 players more to take them that next step, maybe a trophy or maybe for the league.
And that goes back to our question earlier. Do you have anyone in mind for January?
For January,
because we all wanted to see you going
I would love to see
Thiago
Zaha.
Alcantara.
I would love to see Zaha.
Would you pay 75 million for him?
I wouldn't pay 75 million for Zaha, but I have to say, Zaha, his ability and what he does is frightening.
Yeah.
And I feel like his stint at Man United, the fact that he's English, even though he plays for the Ivory Coast, it kind of holds him back. I feel like if he was Brazilian or Argentinian, people would be saying he is one of the best footballers about at the moment, because what he manages to do in that small pond at Crystal Palace, no offense, Palace fans, is incredible. His take-ons is like up there with like Hazard's. Do you know what I mean? He's very direct. He scores goals. He's now like a leader.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I think he sorted his mentality at Palace, and in the game against Watford, when he was taken out and then given a booking for a very similar foul. He didn't go off on one. He kind of took it. He's accepted his role as a leader. I think he's fully being appreciated at Palace, being the big fish in a small pond, like you said. But
that's my thing.
Would he be able to carry that into a role at Tottenham?
Exactly.
Is he ready for it? Is that?
But when he was at United, it sort of showed. I don't think the manager he had as well helped, but at United, with the big players around him, with the big crowds around him, playing for such a prestigious club, it obviously didn't work out. And then he went to Crystal Palace like he did before, and because he is the main man there, he's able to sort of make things happen. People rely on him more, and he's not as worried about. So if they were to lose, it's not like if he loses with Manchester United, it's a bigger thing than if he loses with Crystal Palace. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. More of a safety net, in terms of performance.
I kind of feel with Spurs this season, I feel it's their 1 year that if they don't do anything this season, players will now start to think about, okay, maybe I do need to move on now. Maybe.
How long have we been saying this for?
But
that's the only thing.
It is true.
And I agree with you, actually. I actually agree with you, but I also feel like we've been saying this for so long now. Like, if they don't win anything, they're going to move on. But I feel like there's parts of the game we don't look at, which actually isn't the game. The fact that they're living where they live.
That is
London is always very attractive for these players. Do you know what I mean? A lot of them don't really want to be moving to other places. Once you're settled in London, especially if you're from in and around London.
Yeah, like Delhi out here.
Yeah, it's like you don't really want to move. Like, it has to be super attractive, the prospect.
So you know some of the players personally.
Yeah.
And how big a factor is the new stadium in terms of, are they excited for it? Is it going to affect their mentality? Is the fact it's been delayed playing on their minds somewhat, or have they just kind of swept that all under the rug?
I think they swept it under the rug. I think a lot of players are potentially, they've got one eye on a move in the future if it happens. If a big money team comes in and says, look, we're willing to spend this on this player, I think they have got their eye on that. But in the same breath, there's a lot of other factors that you can't really buy in football, like the relationship with Pochettino. I think that relationship there,
isn't it?
Yeah, like he's a proper. You see,
loyalty.
when they win a game and when they lose a game, even he shakes everyone's hand as they come off the pitch. He hugs. In fact, he doesn't even shake their hand. He hugs every player as they come off the pitch. I think Pochettino's just been known for kind of giving younger players a shot, and he's kind of built a lot of these players. He's not just a manager; he's a coach as well. He spends time with them on the training ground. He kind of builds that relationship, that repertoire with the player, and I feel like that's something money can't buy. Yeah, you can go to another club and earn lots of money. But are you going to be guaranteed that the manager's going to put faith in you? Are you going to definitely play it? Are they going to develop you? Or are you just going to come here, maybe learn off the people around you, but will it be difficult to settle in? There's so many different factors you've got to take into account.
I don't know, I agree. And do you think, given his personal ambition, that he's going to settle for Spurs just being a Champions League club? Because I feel that is where you're going without signings as opposed to title contenders. Now, the rise of Lucas Moura might carry you till January, might carry you to when Son is back, and then all of a sudden your forward line is looking a lot less dependent on a fully fit Harry Kane. But the rumours to Real Madrid justified. Great manager. I don't know if Lopetegui's going to last. Do you see him leaving if you don't go in big in January next summer?
Pochettino? Yeah. This is it.
Because that's when it could all unravel, right?
Like, do you know what it is, yeah? Like, everyone wants a manager to stay and build a dynasty.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? He's been there 4 years now, 3.5 to 4 years. For me, that's a long time in the modern game. And he hasn't won anything. Is it down to him? Is it down to the players? Is it a mixture of both? Is it the chairman not giving enough money? I think all of these things combine for what you have with Spurs today. I look at this team and I go, if they don't win something, and people have been saying this for years, they've missed a real opportunity. Because that 11 is so strong, especially down the spine. You know, they've managed to keep Alderweireld. You've got Vertonghen there, Lloris, World Cup winner, captain. You've got Christian Eriksen, one of the best playmakers in the league. Harry Kane, one of the best strikers in world football. Dele Alli, one of the best young talents. When you look at the team, you think you should win something.
When
Really
you look
and
at
truly.
the bench, you think you need to make signs.
Well, that's the thing.
And he sort of
I do-
called Levy out at the start of the season, didn't he?
No, I do feel like that. But then you look at it and it's like, well, if Son wasn't on this duty right now in the Asian Games,
You've got,
then he's there. Then you've got Eric Lamela, who's decent. You know, he isn't amazing, but he's decent. He's someone good to have on the bench. You've got Mora, so you can intertwine between those three and attacking options in the midfield. I just feel like something's missing at Spurs, and I do feel like it's that superstar signing. And if we don't start to win things, if Levy doesn't start pulling his finger out and spending more money, then it's inevitable that not only the players will leave, but the manager will leave as well.
Who do you think would be a good solution for Spurs?
My realistic one I'd take in January would be Martial.
Okay.
that would be great.
Out of favour, I feel like he could be that backup number 9. He wants to play number 9 for Harry Kane if we need a number 9. He'd also play in that 3 with Eriksen and Dele behind and kind of compete with Lucas Moura as an attacking midfield option
Dele's
from
doing
the
well
wide.
on that left-hand side though, right? Do you want to disrupt that?
I mean, they alternate really. Sometimes you see Dele on the left, sometimes you see him centrally and Eriksen goes right. They never really iron down
Dele
a
can't play
position. They kind of just float between those 3 when they played a 4-2-3-1. So I'd like to see Martial come to Spurs. Man United know, the owners, Mourinho, all of them know they can't sell Martial to Spurs. They know that.
100%.
Because they know Spurs then will go in and be so much more strengthened. They know that so much that they weren't willing to trade Alderweireld.
Yeah.
Which for me, I feel like you was getting the better end of the stick if you did that.
Yeah, I mean, looking at their
100%,
side last night with Ander Herrera playing on the right side of centre-half.
You need a centre half. Why wouldn't you do
ridiculous.
that deal? For me, it makes sense, that deal.
But do
A
you
straight swap like you did with Mickey and Sanchez.
Okay, but straight to the side, do you think you'd be able to afford it? Because the big problem as well is how much the stadium cost, and having the money in the bank to be able to splash out at least 80+ million on Martial.
No, but I'm saying I want a straight swap. I don't want money involved. Why can't we do straight swap? If you need a defender more than we actually need an attacking midfielder, let's be real.
Yeah.
Alderweireld, arguably one of the top centre halves, even at his age in the league.
100%.
It makes sense. Mourinho's a short-term solutionist as well. He's
He
never
is.
been a
I
long-term
think
guy.
Tottenham would still part with some cash as well.
Yeah, and then an extra 20, 15 mil on top. How is that? For me, everyone wins. I don't get that. I don't know why that deal hasn't already happened, in my opinion.
I feel
Martial
like-
was even on the bench yesterday.
I feel like Ed
He
Woodward
wasn't, no.
has...
Wasn't even a match day squad.
wasn't.
He needs to leave. He needs to get out. Free Martial, man. Being shackled.
It is confusing because
Entrusted.
I feel like, listen, they've given Mourinho a contract till when, 2020? He's got 2 seasons left. But Ed Woodward still doesn't want to sign players that, doesn't want to sell players, sorry, that very clearly don't fit his system. It's almost like they are planning for another manager to come in while still not yielding to Mourinho's short-term ways. So I think that's why the club is just in utter confusion at the moment. And we saw it against Spurs. The system, it might have been fun to watch for the first 30 minutes, but it quickly descended from an attack-minded Manchester United to a chaotic Manchester United to an unorganised one. So I think Martial for Toby Alderweireld would have been good, but there's too much politics.
It could
Why is there
possibly
politics though? I don't understand.
I just don't think they'd like to let it, because
Who
when he
does
joined,
straight swaps these days?
well, Arsenal and United.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my whole point. You just did
That was
one.
an anomaly, man.
You just
it
did
was.
one.
But I just feel like as well, there's the politics bit there as well. Is United don't want to let go of such. They know he's a talent. Why do they want to let go of such a rising star, especially if they do get rid of Mourinho?
How long has he been on the fringes? Like, how long have we waited for Martial? He was a wonder kid on Football Manager. When is he going to become this wonderful adult? I don't understand. Like, he's not. I feel like over there, not only is his career going backwards, staying at Man United on the flanks. Think about it. He's already not playing in the number 9 position that he's playing. The number 9 got stripped from him and he made a big deal about it. And he had to become, what is it, Marshall 11?
Something like that.
Something like that. And then on top of that, he's gone wide. He's having to compete with Marcus Rashford. Both of them don't want to be wide, but they're having to compete for that position. Then they go and buy Sanchez. Oh, sorry, they swap him for free. So now it's like, what order is Martial in the pecking order? I think it goes as Sanchez, Rashford, then him. He can't stay there. He wasn't even in the matchday squad.
To be fair to Mourinho, I think Martial and Rashford have been largely ineffective when they've actually been given their chances, and that
but if you don't get a consistent run, if you don't get a consistent run in the team, personally, I feel like if you don't get a consistent run in the team and some faith stored in you by the manager, it's hard to then.
Well, their relationship's untenable after the whole
100%,
the whole kid thing pre-season,
which is mental.
Right? Yeah.
They need Zidane.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Why didn't they just let him go? Why didn't you let Martial go? Who's more important, Mourinho or Martial?
Free Martial.
Free Martial.
Let's move on because
Martial law.
Tottenham United is dominating the conversation, and no doubt we're going to talk about that across all of our programming. But I do have a Sky Sports Fantasy Football related challenge for you, and if you get all 3, then we're going to give away a Tottenham shirt on your timeline, on your Twitter. So go and follow Craig, and if you're a Spurs fan, then look out for it because I'm backing him to get all 3 here. Tell you what, if you get 2 out of 3, we'll still do it.
Ooh.
So it is, which Spurs player has the most points at the start of the season? Question 1, Vertonghen or Kieran Trippier? Vertonghen cost 10 mil on the game, Kieran Trippier 8.5.
I'm going to go for Kieran Trippier. Scored a great free kick.
Did indeed.
Got an assist against Manchester United as well yesterday for Harry Kane's header. And obviously he gets the clean sheet bonuses if they keep a clean sheet, which they did against Man United. So I'm going to go with Trips.
You'd be correct, and it's not as obvious as it sounds. Vertonghen's got 23 points, Trippier has 24.
Christ,
so
1 point.
So very close. Right, now Lucas Moura or your star man Harry Kane?
I think here they want you to say Harry Kane, but it's actually Lucas Moura.
Well, why do they want to? I don't think so, because Lucas Moura's got 3 goals this season and Harry Kane has 2.
But he's the star player. I say go Lucas Moura as well.
I watched the results, so I know if Lucas Moura has 3 goals and Harry Kane has 2, then...
Does Harry have any assists? Stats are on screen now.
Harry Kane doesn't really get many assists.
He doesn't. He got 2 last season, I think.
Yeah.
What's the answer?
I'm going to go with Moura.
That is correct. 2
there
out
we
of
go.
2.
You got your T-shirt, people.
Moura. There you go.
Last but not least, to put the cherry on top of the cake, Eriksen or Dele Alli?
Clean sweep, let's flip. I am going to go...
That's hard.
I'm going to go Christian Eriksen.
It's incorrect. Dele Alli.
Oh, right.
Takes
Not
it,
a true Spurs fan.
but still,
Guy,
2 out of 3, not bad. That gets you the shirt. If you want it, go and follow Craig, like I said, and tweet him with a hashtag, the 12th man. Moving on to some fan questions now. We'll make these a little bit more quick fire because we've spoken for quite a lot, lads.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying your company, but you know, Craig's a busy man. He's got places to be, people to see.
Don't lie, trying to get rid of
I see a man about a dog. Anyway, Sean Rowley has asked, what is the best piece of content you have made and why? Now, you had brilliant access to the England team over the World Cup. Are you leaning in that direction, Lions Den, or?
I'd say.
Just
I'm not even the Lions Den.
Don't put words in your mouth.
Because the Lions Den was the live show. It was actually the piece of content we did in the ice bar from Harry Kane.
Yeah,
that was very good.
Just all my idea. No, I'm joking. We had a great team that came up with that. I contributed. No, but it was good. That was my favourite piece of content. It was just fun, man. Like, it was surreal because we just won the day before. What was the game? Was it Panama? I think it was.
Oh,
we just beat.
I got
battered
punched in the
You'd be in
face.
that scenario, just topless in a cold tub with Harry Kane.
Yeah, just after you scored a hat trick and inadvertently, one just. Whoosh. But no, it was weird. It was weird. First of all, it was extremely painful.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't deal with it. I don't know how they do that all the time. But no, it was just fun, like getting the little cutaways of me putting the ice in, having creative direction on it. Just,
that's good, man.
Yeah, me being in the robe there, my little England robe on. It was fun. That was probably the best piece of content I think I've made.
Can I
It got
answer?
a lot of views as well.
Can I answer? That's what you're here for, mate.
Oh,
Go
good.
on.
I would say either the FD versus EFD match or the FD versus Soccer AM match, or Goa. I've got a few, to be honest. Ones that actually shot really nicely. And also we beat Soccer AM 3-0, so that was good fun.
Good times.
More of that to come. Next question from Oliver Breed. What did you guys make of the whole KSI versus Logan Paul bout? Now, I'm a bit aggrieved to talk about this, but it's topical. What did you think From a YouTuber point of view, from an influencer point of view?
I think KSI's a legend.
Yeah.
It just has to be said, whether you like the guy or not. The move he's made now is it's monumental. Like, I didn't even see, when he had the first fight against Joe Weller, I just thought, okay, this is silly, it's novelty for money.
Yeah.
But I didn't realise how it could actually
The
go like this.
scalability of it,
yeah,
yeah.
like now he could fight another 4 or 5 YouTubers.
People call
and
it
it's
out
a
Chris
payday.
Brown.
But I'll call that KSI. If I can get 16 mil,
Oh, mate.
so apparently they did 5 million streams at £7.50 each and it generated 38 million. So if I can get 19 mil,
Mate, it's
to fight KSI for 6 rounds with a
unbelievable.
head guard on,
Yeah.
then I'll do it.
Let's
I'll
get
train.
Craig Mitchell on the
There you go.
undercard out in Miami, is it?
Undercard.
Or LA?
One of them.
Wherever it is.
One of
Oh wait, is that what the next fight is?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think
But
they're
they,
really
they drew, didn't they? So they're going to obviously do it again somewhere.
Oh, listen, get me on the undercard. I'll fight Deji. Any one of these guys, pick one of them. Anyone, I'm up for it because that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, I rate what they're doing. I think business-wise
phenomenal.
is incredible. Real boxers must be
Livid.
livid.
Who'd be
Yeah.
the best boxer from Filthy Fellas?
I'll go with Savage Dan. He's a new face on the show. Chelsea fan. He actually
There
does
you go,
boxing.
Dan.
He actually does boxing.
that
So
helps.
it's just
Helps.
that just it helps just a little bit. You know.
I'm more of a
Just the
Muay
sound
Thai fan myself.
I'd get knocked clean out. Let's move on to the match previews. Let's burn through these match previews then, fellas. Leicester versus Liverpool, the 12:30 p.m. kickoff on Sky Sports, Saturday the 1st. This is no doubt the feature game of the weekend. Leicester on 6 points out of 9 after that victory over Southampton. Liverpool 3 for 3 after edging Brighton last week. First of all, predictions, lads, and feel free to provide context.
2-1 Liverpool, because from what I remember, Leicester are a bit more like a bogey team for Liverpool, and I feel Harry Maguire is going to net another one.
Oh yeah.
Yet again. And,
Slabhead popping up last minute. What do you think?
Everyone's
Craig?
putting the slab in. I'm going to be controversial.
Oh yeah.
no way you're going to say Liverpool lose.
Not too controversial.
I was going to say.
I'm going to go for
Go
a
for
score
the
draw. I'm going to go for 2-2. I just feel like 4 for 4 for Liverpool would be a dream start, and a lot of people are expecting it, but this is the Premier League. And Premier League never gives people what they want and what they expect. I feel like it's going to be a spanner in the works. So I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
I think Liverpool are going to dispatch him, because,
Comfortably.
Yeah, not one
maybe if
surprise.
Jamie Vardy was playing 7 goals in his last 8 appearances, a perpetual thorn in Liverpool's side, I might be inclined to agree with you in terms of the score draw. But I think Leicester have struggled, and
They're good at the King Power, though.
a few they were very, very fortunate against Wolves.
Oh, yeah.
Wolves.
Obviously, kind of an OG and the deflection from James Maddison's strike. Wolves hitting the upright, the post. By far the better side on the day. Puel's football, his brand of football,
Terrible.
it's come under some criticism. There's not exactly a feel-good factor around a camp now. Demarai Gray, first goal in 17 appearances against Southampton, so maybe he'll save Leicester's bacon again. But I just think Liverpool have got too much, man.
They've improved so well, and it's so annoying because I love to hate them, but yet now I actually really like them. Their front three's phenomenal. And Naby Keita, love him to bits. Alisson, love him.
But in terms of fantasy football, there's points to be earned in this game because against Southampton, Mendy and Ndidi started. And of course, you win bonus points based on how many retrievals, how many passes, and those guys are going to have to be active in that central midfield area, aren't they? So who do you see scoring? Who do you see as the goal threats in this game? Who could win you points from a Sky Sports fantasy football perspective, apart from the obvious people?
I think it's always good, obviously, if you've got Harry Maguire in your team, if you've got a centre-half that can score goals, is always good. Harry Maguire can definitely score goals. We've seen that set piece is very dangerous. I mean, the goal he scored the other day wasn't usually in his locker.
The
is it?
daisy car.
Yeah, the way he did that
Beautiful.
right at the end of the game. But I always feel like on set pieces, he's a threat. I feel like if they're going to want to beat Liverpool, they're probably going to have to look for something unorthodox like a set piece.
Yeah,
Because you're not going to be able to play them at football really and truly. So when those balls get whipped in, if you've got the likes of Harry Maguire in there, could get a header. I'm going to have to agree with what you said earlier. DG, Demarai Gray, I feel like now is his time to step up. Mahrez is gone. He's been on the kind of... He's always had the talent.
The cusp, yeah.
Yeah, he's always been on the cusp. Never really got a run in the team. Even under, I thought when Shakespeare came in, he would have got more game time, but he didn't really get that much game time. And I was thinking maybe his time at Leicester's coming to an end. But now that Mahrez has gone, like I said, I think he's going to be the guy that's going to step up. That goal's going to do him the world of good confidence-wise. When we look at Liverpool, do you want me to give you Liverpool ones as well?
Go on,
Salah's a banker.
Easy money, that.
Salah's a banker, and Mane.
Easy money again. I'll tell you who's been really impressing me on free kicks recently. Bertrand Traore, not Bertrand Traore, What am I on about?
Trent
Sorry.
Alexander-Arnold.
Trent Alexander-Arnold. Yeah,
Yes.
just got completely confused there.
That guy.
He hit the post recently as well, and I just find at such a young age, when you're already whipping balls in like that, he's going to get you assists and he's going to score them as well.
Shall I tell you what's great about Trent?
Yeah,
Because obviously I spent a lot of time with him in Russia.
Oh, nice.
He's so competitive.
Yeah.
Good.
Like, to the point where Trent, I'm sure you won't mind me saying this, he's a sore loser. Even when he loses, when they would play head tennis, ping pong, if he lost the game, throw the bat, walk off, come down angry.
Good.
You know,
Sick.
when he chills with, I was with Ruben Brewster the other day, and he was telling me like when they play two touch and he loses, he gets angry. He just wants to win, and that's a sign of he's got that fire in his belly. Like he doesn't take any little thing. We could just be playing snap on this table right now, and he'd want to win. Doesn't want to lose anything.
You can tell he's a perfectionist. The way he's progressed from last season, he looks so well rounded at the start of this campaign. Was great against Palace, and then was great the other night too against Brighton. I think he had 2 shots. He created 2 opportunities, and
Super confident.
those little inside balls to Salah. He seems to have a great relationship with Salah, where he picks him up in this inside forward position, which is really interesting. But at the same time, he's got the legs just to go around. Like Liverpool, more alarmingly for other sides, Robertson and TAA have more license to go forward because Van Dijk is just that rock at the back. I like the look of Gomez at the start of this season, but I also think they're going to be better when Lovren comes in. Trent Alexander-Arnold only 8.4 on the game, and he's got 24 points, I believe. Don't want to commit to that. 20 plus points this campaign already. So he well worth bringing into your side. I said this last week. Liverpool players are a little bit underrated on Sky Sports Fantasy Football. Let's go on to match 2, Brighton versus Fulham. Now I'll pick this because Fulham are playing some excellent stuff. I think Brighton made some great signings in the summer. Very savvy signings like Yahan Bash. He was wonderful in the Eredivisie last season. How do you see this going, lads? And Craig, have Fulham impressed you at the start of this season?
They have impressed me. Mitrovic looking like such a great signing. He's always been a handful, Mitrovic. Anyway, he's been always a problem for defenders, but he looks to be someone that's going to rack up a lot of points on fantasy football and a lot of goals for himself. So he's definitely someone I've been impressed by. Brian Sessegnon, obviously very tricky player.
Didn't play though on the weekend.
He didn't, but I still feel like he's going to be someone that has a good season. Someone that's really going to show why these bigger clubs are interested in throughout the season. Fulham, they started well. They were unlucky, to be honest, against Spurs. You know, they lost 3-1, but that didn't really show what happened in the game. They were in trouble throughout the whole game. They had a few chances that Spurs conceded where they really could have got something out of that game. So I've been impressed by Fulham. Don't think they're going to be in a relegation battle.
No, 100%.
I think they're going to stay up. I think they've got the quality to
Spent
stay
well,
up.
haven't they? Spent well.
Yeah, they have spent well. Brighton, I think Brighton might struggle this season. I do. They got a massive result against Manchester United. Yeah. No denying that. And their form last season at the Amex was good. But I just feel like it's an arse because I feel like the teams that have come up now, the likes of Fulham, Wolves have been impressive. I feel like they're going to stay up. So I feel like they're going to get dragged into that kind of mud fight down there.
No, I think that is inevitable.
I think, it's fair enough. I think one player, though, that you should definitely be picking up on your fantasy football is Seri. I know he's very cheap as well. He scored.
That goal
it was his
crazy.
first shot in the Premier League.
No,
Martin
that goal,
Luther Ping.
Ridiculous.
Martin Luther Ping, I like that. It's going to be hard to top that, isn't it, for Golden Month?
He's so
He hits
good.
so sweet.
When you get a player that Barcelona are looking at and Fulham have won the battle for him, you kind of already know he's going to be half decent.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, his form dropped off dramatically last season, didn't it? But so did Nice's as a whole. So I think that was more a Nice problem, more of a Lucien Favre problem than a Seri problem. I actually got Seri in my team, and he's sort of mid 8 million range, and I think well worth a punt at that price.
How long ago did you put him in your team? At the beginning?
At the beginning, yeah. Well, you know,
we have a football hipster on our
Daily. You're a Football Daily. Done a homework.
Bit of research.
Did a bit of research.
Predictions? Because I'm actually going to go for Fulham victory, lads. I'm going to go 2-1.
Is it Amex?
It is at the Amex.
This is what I'm saying. I don't think. I'm going to go for Fulham win. I think they're full of confidence right now.
If you're both going for a Fulham win, I'll go for something different. A draw, 2-2.
There we go. Highest scoring draw. Football's the winner there. Match 3, Burnley versus Manchester United. 4 p.m. Super Sunday.
Turf Moor?
Yes, tough.
Turf Moor. Now that United lost in such emphatic fashion to Spurs, you're looking at this fixture and you're actually going, this is quite difficult in terms of bouncing back after losing so emphatically, like I said, at home. I actually think they might struggle here. This is one of the worst teams to play, although they've not been great at the start of this season. Only 2 shots on target against Fulham. Admittedly, they
not
scored
great.
2 goals, which is classic Sean Dyche. But against that physicality, which is, you know, Burnley's trademark now, but that back four looks fragile. Even if it's a back three, it looks fragile. That right-hand side, Valencia, I feel like it could be finished this season. Herrera's not going to play right-sided centre-back ever again. Oh, what do we think? Is Jose still the right guy for Manchester United, lads?
Yes. I think it'd be silly to get rid of him now. Like, unless, I feel the only real replacement they can get is Zinedine Zidane. And unless he's ready by January, I think you've got to stick it out with Mourinho. I kind of feel Mourinho's now got into his head this whole 3-season syndrome, where he's now thinking maybe it is actually a thing. And I just feel... I actually think he is, because I just feel with...
I don't think he cares.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Guys, respect.
It's
just some respect.
Oh,
that's all I
God.
Respect. Okay, respect.
I love that housery.
But there's not... I actually think there's not a worse team that he could be facing than Burnley.
Man City,
straight
probably.
off. Well, oh yeah, you can say something like that. But like Burnley, where Sean Dyche, it's just like, oh, imagine Sean Dyche's going to sit back, let them attack, and they're scoring the 90th minute.
I think Man United are going to win.
Yeah.
I think they're going to win. Their backs against the wall. It was against the wall against Spurs, but now it's like it couldn't be more against the wall. They're basically glued to the wall right now.
Yeah, they have to win.
And they have to come out swinging, and I feel like they'll get it done. I feel like the big players will step up. Pogba, all of these characters. Let's be real. Yesterday's game, 3-0. It was just literally Spurs just taking the chances they had.
Yeah.
Across the whole game.
It was a bit flattering.
Man United didn't play bad. Like, it was literally, ball gets whipped by Eriksen, Moro puts it in the back of the net.
Yeah.
Trippier whips one in, Harry Kane loops a header in. It's one of those games where
it's that defensive line, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it's the errors. It's the errors they're making as well, which are so sloppy.
And Jose got the quality. Like, Brunt's not really good. Like, the quality's not really there to punish you in the same way.
Wood or Bagger. Yeah, Bagger Hattie. I just think like with the errors that they're making in defence, like Mourinho's got to be like Mourinho's not a bad coach. He's won the Premier League. He's won the Champions League. He's got to be able to coach a defence where you've got Victor Lindelof, who you wanted in. You've got Bailly, who you wanted in. Fine, they didn't play well against Brighton, but you're a decent coach. You've got to teach them, or I don't know what he's doing in training where they're still making.
He's not really a coach. He's just a manager. There's a difference. Yeah. He doesn't really harness talent. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't really develop anything. How many drills is he out there really doing on the field? I just think he's the guy that puts the tactics together. I just think he's the guy that gives the motivational team talks, but does them in a reverse way, and doesn't motivate them. I just think he's a manager, and unfortunately, for Mourinho, I just feel like I don't think he is going to see his time through. I don't think he will.
Okay.
I do think he is going to be leaving Man United throughout the season, but I don't want him to.
Yeah, but imagine the press conference.
He is still the greatest active manager. I don't care if Pep's alive. He's won the most. He won a league in Porto. He won in Italy. He won it in La Liga. He won in two different spells at Chelsea.
Do you agree with Craig? Let us know in the poll just above. Yes or no. Is Mourinho the best active manager? So I think we've made our predictions clear. Let's not talk about Man United anymore. Let's move on to your fan teams and stats of the week, and then the show's done, lads. Let's get a bit of emotion. Right, our fan team this week comes from Connor717, who tweeted me. He's currently 27th in the league. What do you make of this starting XI? And I've got to say, Connor, are you a coder? Have you hacked the system? Because Mendy, a tremendously expensive defender, along with Hazard, Aguero and Salah. I know he's got Vinegar in his side, but how has he done this, Mitch?
New boy Alisson as well, Jorginho.
I'm going to copy him.
This is Photoshop.
I'm actually going to copy him.
It's not even hack, he's Photoshopped this and sent it to us. I'm on to you, mate. You're good with Adobe, aren't you? I know what you're trying to do here.
You've been absolutely
There's no way you can get Hazard, Aguero, Salah, Trippier, Walcott, Jorginho and Alisson into one team. What? How has he done that?
But he has.
I mean,
Genduzi's
cheap, Vinegar's cheap. Seri, not the most expensive, but he's still got 11 points for him. What a tremendous week he's had. Walcott as well. I don't know why the points haven't registered for Walcott against Bournemouth.
Might have been taking a couple
Connor,
of
you've
days
smashed it. Honestly, this is a good team.
This might be the best one I've seen so far, to be honest.
This is definitely a fantasy team. This would be in my fantasy.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll be at home in bed dreaming about this team.
I'm a little bit annoyed, to be honest.
I'm actually going to copy
I've
this.
not been able to pick something like this.
Jorginho, Walcott, Hazard. Yeah, I'm going to start investigating this team because I don't know.
Despite being 27th, you get our team of the week. But for the rest of you
that,
who are struggling, like me, I've got some tips for you. These are the top performers from the week just passed, from week 3. So the most successful tackles, Idrissa Gueye, your boy Moussa Dembele, Benjamin Mendy, all got 2 extra points for 4 tackles.
Plays.
Most completed passes, shock horror, Jorginho with 158.
It's so good watching
Completed
Chelsea.
passes.
He is sick in the head.
It's so good watching Chelsea now. I love it.
Whoa, hold the phone. He made 158 completed passes
The
against
man
Newcastle.
is mental. Yes. Some of the passes he's doing, they're not like, some of them are very actually like complicated passes where he's pinging it, and it's just like phenomenal to watch. Chelsea are good to watch now. It's enjoyable.
There we go. I'm lost for words, 158. Most shots on target, Andre Schürrle, who actually had 11 shots in the game, but he got 5 on target. He got an extra 3 points for that. And that's happened in consecutive weeks. It was Gabriel Jesus the week before. We thought that would never happen. 5 shots on target. Like Harry Kane was averaging 6 shots in the Premier League last campaign. How Schürrle's getting 5 shots on target in a game is absolutely beyond me.
Burnley.
And most saves made, that's believable because West Ham's back 4 is terrible. 9 saves equaling 3 points.
Not surprised.
Gentlemen, any other words of wisdom before we depart? Because I'm all fantasied out.
Just copy Connor's team, mate. That's unbelievable.
That is words of wisdom right there. That is an unbelievable team.
Connor, you've actually made
I don't know how to top that.
He's actually made a mockery of our league. I'm actually a little bit annoyed, but thanks for sending your team in.
Well
anyway, if you enjoyed this, then please watch the Football Social on Saturday. That goes live at 2:45. Zach, what's happening on Eurofootball Daily?
The Stats Wars Continental Clubs. So make sure you're getting questions into us on Twitter. And why not hit us up on Instagram? The QR codes are on screen right now because we're all about QR now.
Craig, what are you up to? Because you're a man, a very active man.
Yeah, so I got, doing all the stuff with JD Football, Premier League. The England friendlies are coming up.
Oh.
So there may be, I can't quite
What do you think to the UEFA Nations League then? You like the concept?
I do like the concept. It sounds a bit like a DC superhero film, but it's cool. They need to make friendlies a bit more interesting. Do you know what I mean? They want to keep people engaged, especially off the back of a terrific World Cup. It just makes sense to kind of get people
striking while they aren't.
Yeah, you don't want to just watch friendlies and have people throwing around paper planes again at Wembley. You want to make sure people are engaged, and I think this is a good way to do it, playing some of the best teams in Europe. So why not?
Yeah, I think it's a good step forward for sure. What were you about to say? Come on, I was just about to wrap this up.
Can you give me a ticket?
I can try.
Great.
No promises, but I can try.
Just give for freebies mid-shot.
Why not?
You absolutely
reprobate.
Exactly.
Anyway.
3 points.
Or this shot.
See you later. Please sign up to our league. Pin on screen now if you haven't done so already. Getting that in there before the end. Ciao.